Member Leach is absent tonight. And there we go on to the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes?
No.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Second. Motion by Diane, second by Dave. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the May 4th, 2015 Special Board of Equalization meeting and May 6th, 2015 regular meeting. Are there any changes or corrections that need to be done? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 4th meeting and the May 6th meeting? So we have a motion by Keith. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Dave. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. Now's our time for public open forum. This is the opportunity for the community to speak to the council. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Third and final time, is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Our public open forum is now closed. We have no public hearings. Move on to reports and presentations. Police Department. Right.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Activity report for April 2015, some of the numbers we had. We had 3 alarm calls. We had 4 canine assists for other agencies. We had 14 personal assists. We had 27 assists for other agencies. 5 drug arrests, and those are pertaining to methamphetamine and marijuana. We had 6 driving citations issued for people with revoked or suspended driver's license. We had 16 small amount of citations issued for marijuana and possession of marijuana, or drug paraphernalia, I should say. We had 4 intoxicated persons that we talked to. We had 10 juvenile problems, 28 matter of informations, 13 medicals, 7 citations given for no driver's license at all, 6 accidents, 17 suspicious calls, 9 being suspicious activity, 2 suspicious people, and 2 suspicious phone calls, and 4 suspicious vehicles. And also I'd like to, probably now's a good time, we've had a lot of solicited phone calls that we're getting to the public, and I want to make the public aware of that. Some of them are from where they say they're from the IRS, and they're going to be fined immediately if you don't pay a fine. So please ignore that. There's another one where they'll say that they're a relative, like a nephew. They'll target an older person and say that they're the nephew and say, you know, I've been in trouble with the court, I need some money wired to me immediately, you know. So anytime you hear that, please, you know, check with your nephew or grandson or whatever and confirm that he is indeed, need money or what have you. So we're getting a lot of scams like that. So basically the IRS one and that imitating a relative one. And when they call you, they'll know your name, they'll know your grandson's name, they'll know everything about you. The other one to watch out for too is the computer. They come over the computer saying you have a virus. That's one that's happening right now. They'll say, you know, they go right on your computer and they're already on it, and they'll say you have a virus. For this much money, we clear up your virus, and then they get all your information, and all of a sudden you're losing money. So those 3 scams are out there, so I just want to make the public aware of that. Where we're on that. Where were we? 3 thefts we had. We had 309 verbal warnings. Those are broke down with 28 of them for headlights, 2 for seatbelt, 116 for speed, 5 for stop signs, and 158 others. We did some 9 welfare checks for people. So we had a total activity of 630. Let's see what else. Compare that to March, we were up ICRs 15, warnings were up 28, and up total of 43. Did you see the next one there? The Officer Jensen added the K9 report that he's been keeping now. He has a nice computer program now that works really well for him, where he keeps all his activity logged. Anytime he does training, anytime he does searches, his own searches or searches for another agency, everything is logged. So he has a good record of continuous training and the work that Sonny has been doing. So by month here, you see the deployments that he had. Started with Sonny in December. He had 10 where he was deployed, then the next month 11, February was 17, March was 12, and April was 15 deployments. So he's been really active with the dog, and Sonny is really, them two are starting to get tuned to each other better. Sonny knows what he's doing, but for Officer Jensen to be able to recognize the indication that he gives, it takes a while. And they're getting better together, and Sonny's done a good job. So, also in April, I went to the Minnesota Chiefs Training Conference that was held in St. Cloud, April 20th to 22nd. Very good. We had some good speakers there. Very good training. We had a lot of good exhibitors over there. It's always good to walk through those and get some feedback on what people are using. And it's good to talk with the other chiefs, what's happening, and get their feedback. So the training was really good. A lot of talk on, of course, on body cameras and stuff like that. And some of the agencies are using them. And there's been issues already, and a lot of, most of the issues are with data privacy issues. So right now they're going to say hold tight a little bit on those until some of those data privacy issues can get worked out. So we'll see what happens with that. So, otherwise, that's all there.
Any questions? Thank you, Brian.
All right, thank you.
Airport board report.
So the airport board met on Wednesday, May 13th. That was the regularly scheduled meeting. We do have several airport items on the agenda for action, and I'll just kind of briefly touch on the meeting itself. We did receive an update on the fuel pump and the card reader. It's supposed to be operational this week. They had some parts that were missing. They delayed the upgrade of the beacon to be included in a future larger project to take advantage of some electrical cost savings if we do it that way. They're recommending approval of a grant application to the FAA for that environmental assessment work. We did send that proposal that you previously approved with Bolton Mink on to FAA for approval, and they have done that now, and so now we're ready to apply for the grant. They're recommending an agreement to transfer 2012 expiring entitlement dollars to the city of Owatonna. We did receive an invitation. MnDOT Aeronautics is doing zoning outreach meetings that some will be attending. We did finally get all the hail repairs done for that 2012 hailstorm. Now it's 2015, but this was the last of our hail repairs, and that was on the 2000 hangar out there at a new roof. And also found that MnDOT Aeronautics is proposing an increase to our M&O reimbursement. So that's also an action item. Does anybody have questions on the airport?
Questions? Comments? Okay. All right. We'll move on to action items. Approve Resolution 2015-34, amending hearing date for street reconstruction plan.
As we had previously scheduled a reconstruction hearing tonight, and that would be a 5-year plan or a reconstruction hearing plan for streets in order to obtain funding. And that's one of the funding mechanisms for the Beltline portion of our project. That meeting was set for May 20th. We are rescheduling that date for June 3rd. I do have a resolution in your packet, so it's basically rescheduling the meeting from tonight until to the next council meeting. That would be Resolution 2015-34.
Questions? Concerns? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2015-34, rescheduling public hearing on street reconstruction plan? So moved. Motion by Keith, do I have a second? Second. Second by Diane. Any other comments? Hearing none, call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. Approved transfer of entitlement dollars and repayment agreement.
As you know, every year the city accumulates an additional $150,000 in entitlement dollars from the FAA, and they are good for 5 years. On September 30th, 2015, FAA's fiscal year 2016 begins, so our $2012 will expire if we don't use them. We are proposing the one grant agreement for the environmental work for $88,000 of our $150,000, and so that leaves $62,000 left that we're not be able to use. We can't encumber a second grant because the FAA still has not approved our ALP, our airport layout plan. So the airport board is recommending that we transfer the use of that $62,000 to the city of Otana, and then we would have a repayment agreement that we will then use $62,000 of their future entitlement dollars, which we're saying within the next, I think, 2 years, in 2018, which is September 30th of 2017 when that would happen. So then we would have that kind of banked for when we do our big project. So what we're looking here to do is to authorize the execution of the agreement for the transfer of entitlements and the federal airport funding repayment agreement. So it's 2 pages. One is we agree to transfer it, and the other one is if they agree to pay us back.
Okay. Questions? This is something we've done with other cities before.
We did this in 2006 or 7. We did it with the city of Morris, and when we did the hangar project, and then last year we transferred $8,200 out to another city with no repayment agreement.
Okay. Okay, they're agreeing to pay us back in 2 years, so they basically have to adjust their budget and say they were going to use all their $150,000 each year for the next 2 years. That second year, within that 2 years, one of them years, they're going to have to adjust their budget then.
Right, and so they would, when the city of Otana themselves then would just, part of their budget would be $62,000 to the city of Sauk Center rather than $62,000 to some project.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to authorize execution of agreement for transfer of entitlements and federal airport funding repayment agreement? Motion by Keith. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Dave. Any other comments or questions? Call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. 7C, approve application for 2015 FAA grant agreement.
At the May 6th meeting, if you recall, and I just mentioned that earlier, the city approved work order 4 with Bolton, Maine to complete the environmental assessment work at the airport. And this is to get ready for the larger improvement project in 2016 and 17, which is airport runway reconstruction and widening and then all the new lights. The work order for that environmental assessment was for a total of $88,000. The airport board is requesting the city approve the execution of a grant agreement with the FAA and MnDOT for repayment. The breakdown is FAA will cover 90%, which is $79,200. MnDOT would be 5% at $4,400, and the city would pay 5% or $4,400. We had budgeted 10% of the project for this. However, MnDOT has come up with putting up 5% of the project, so our 10% got cut in half. So we do have the money in the budget for it. So we're requesting to approve the execution of the grant agreement for $88,000 with MnDOT Aeronautics and the FAA.
Questions? Comments? If not, do I have a motion to approve execution of grant agreement for $88,000 with MnDOT Aeronautics and the FAA?
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Diane. Second? Second. Second by Dave. Any other comments? Call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion 7D, approve revised maintenance and operation agreement, MnDOT Airlines.
One more airport action item here, and this doesn't have to do with future projects, but it has to do with annual maintenance of the airport. Right now, we have a grant agreement with MnDOT for reimbursement of maintenance and operation costs. So if you ever hear us talk about our M&O at the airport, it's our maintenance and operation costs. Annually, we submit costs of operation to MnDOT, and we're reimbursed for 2/3 of those costs up to a maximum of $13,184. In 2014, MnDOT amended that agreement to include a not to exceed $14,502.40. So last year, you executed that one. They're now submitting another amendment and changing the 2/3 to 75% of our costs up to a total of $19,646. So we're not necessarily intending to spend more money, it's just that more money will be eligible for reimbursement, with the caveat that we're having some trouble with one of our big hangar doors, so it may be a good timing. So what we're looking for is to approve Amendment 2 to the MnDOT Grant Agreement 03935, which is our annual M&O agreement.
Questions? How much do we usually ask for reimbursement on a yearly basis?
We usually do not have any trouble getting up to the max, the 13,184, and then of course this year the 14,502. So I don't anticipate we'll have any trouble making the 19,000 either, because we can submit cost of labor for mowing and a lot of that too. So it's fine.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve amendment number 2 to MnDOT grant agreement number 03935?
Motion approved.
We have a motion by Dave. Second?
Second.
Second by Diane. Any other comments? Call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. 7E, approve resolution 2015-35, receiving petition and call public hearing on home vacation request.
The city, and you have a copy in your packet, the petition has been received by owners abutting 10th Street, lying westerly of Beltline Road. The request is to vacate the north 66 feet of the west 200 feet of the right-of-way, which is the part that's lying northerly of the structure at 1151 10th Street. And I did give you an attached map that shows that street easement that goes to the west, and then it jogs around over the top of that structure. The roadway was actually dedicated in 2013 when it was discovered that the garage located on the lot did not meet the setbacks from the existing dedication, so it was shifted to the north. Now that north parcel has been sold to a new owner, and he wishes to have it vacated so because that is the location that he would like to build a home. So the first step for that is him to petition. Everybody will be notified. We'll have a public hearing. All the information will come before you, and you will be able to decide whether it's appropriate to vacate the road or not. So what tonight's action is simply to set the public hearing on the vacation request. And we're setting it for the 17th of June.
Okay. For that public hearing, the township be notified of this too.
I will notify the township on this specific one because it abuts. Because the township, the property owner is a property owner, but the jurisdiction is the township, so I will notify them.
Any other questions or comments? If not, do I have a motion to approve resolution 2015-35, receiving petition and calling for public hearing on vacation request? We have a motion by Diane. Do we have a second? Second. A second by Dave. Any other comments? Hearing none, call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. 7F, approve addendum to purchase agreement.
As you know, as part of the Beltline project, the city offered to purchase property on Fairlane Road from the Central Minnesota Credit Union, and the credit union has accepted that offer with the one proposed amendment. And that amendment or agreement would be that the city would agree not to develop the parcel with some type of similar banking institution for a period of 30 years. And so what we're asking for is to approve that amendment to the purchase agreement so that it can proceed to closing.
Questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the amended purchase agreement?
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Diane, second. Second by Dave. Any other comments? Hearing none, call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. 7F, approve addendum to purchase agreement. No, we did that one. 7G, approve resolution 2015-36, approving installation of traffic control signs.
The city received a petition from owners abutting East River Circle for 2 children at play signs. That is a loop road, so it has 2 entrances. I did include a copy of the petition in your packet and also a copy of the map. We did receive a request for the same area last year, but that request was withdrawn before it was brought to the council. The city council does have the authority to manage traffic control signs on the city roadways, however they are placed after adoption of a resolution. So that's what I have before you in the packet. If you choose to proceed with the signs, then you would adopt the resolution. That would go to Public Works and they would see that it gets installed. I did talk to the police chief about this as well. So.
Any questions or comments? Is the petition, is that based on just traffic speed in that area, or?
It was just they were saying that there was just so many young children in that community that they felt, for safety reasons, that they felt it warranted children at play signs.
Okay, so it isn't anything like a traffic issue that we should be aware of?
No, it wasn't from people speeding or anything. It was just simply volume of children compared to the traffic that goes through there.
Just an awareness situation.
It's the awareness. If it was speeding, we'd have sent them out there already.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
It seems like traffic shouldn't be an issue. It's kind of a closed community.
It is a
Not
loop.
go through roads, so. What street is that for?
East River Circle.
True. You know, it's kind of like a cul-de-sac.
I mean, it's kind of a cul-de-sac. It's like, there shouldn't be anybody that really doesn't live there.
Yeah, but we've all been stuck in cul-de-sacs and have to turn.
Well, this is,
It happens. You think the road goes.
this is a loop road, and, you know, people go for a drive or whatever, and they go do a little check, you know, they go through the loop and check, see what's going on in the neighborhood, or if there's what's for sale, what's not for sale, whatever. I can totally understand, you know, their concern on that part.
I don't have an issue with it, but I wonder how many other neighborhoods just like this are around here without signs. I mean, it's just one of those things that probably a lot of neighborhoods where there's a bunch of kids in that area.
The loop that I'm on, basically, I don't think there's a sign there either, but
What did the chief feel on this?
Brian was just waiting for his chance.
Well, I kind of had the same thinking, you know, about that it's a loop and there wouldn't be much outside traffic racing through there. But like I say, there's still people that go through and, you know, we're on a cul-de-sac myself and my wife says about cars that speed by every day here, you know, so I don't know. You know, it'd be maybe a good spot to try a couple signs and good test spot to and then get some feedback from them to see if they notice that, you know, people are slowing through that area and then just go from there. At first, they don't really think people will pay attention to the signs, but maybe they will, I don't know. That'd be a good, maybe a spot to just try it out and get some feedback from them and then before we, you know, I don't know how costly these signs are to put up over, you know, but. So,
that was one of my next questions, is how much it costs the
Right,
signs and
right.
putting it up, so.
well, you know, if we did it, you know, just do it as a test area and see what feedback we can get from the public.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, Vicki, you heard what the next question is, so how much is the signs gonna cost, or if we would have put 2 of them up?
You know, signs can cost a lot, but the last time that we put up a sign, if you take the pole and the sign, you're talking about $90. Unless they might have some in stock, I don't know.
And actually, you know, a lot of people are going, why is he has a lot of money, whatever, but I guess if one kid doesn't get hit on the road, that $90 per sign is pretty cheap as far as bringing awareness in my opinion. So, and is there any other comments or?
No, I guess the only comment I have continues to be, I think we probably have a lot of places in town that would benefit from some signage like that.
True.
You know, we always, and it seems like we have so many zoning things that come in front of us, and, you know, that we should do this and that. And this is actually kind of a refreshing one, because it's kind of a no-brainer. It's, you know, if we do get petitions for other areas, great. Should have said that. But
Okay, anything else? Okay, I'll call the question. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2015-36 authorizing installation of traffic control signs? So moved. We have a motion by Keith. Do I have a second? Second by Dave. Any other comments? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, against. We have no unfinished business. New business, county ordinance on golf carts.
If you recall, in 2014, Stearns County approved an ordinance for 1 year allowing golf cart traffic on the county roads. They did have a couple of conditions, actually there's 4 conditions. It has to only be on county roads that are posted at 30 miles an hour or less. Their county road cannot be classified as a minor or principal arterial. The city in which the county road is located also has an ordinance, and then the city then requests officially from the county that they allow it. So this does not apply to Main Street or Highway 71, except for crossing it. But all the county roads that are within the city limits are not considered a minor or principal. So basically, any road in town except Main Street, if it's posted at 30 miles an hour or less, you would be able to do it. So as far as deciding which roads you're on and not, that wouldn't really be an issue. Last year, when the county did that, the city of Sauk Center declined to adopt an ordinance allowing the golf cart traffic until it was known whether the county was going to renew theirs in May of this year. Now they did that, and they renewed it, and I have a copy of that renewal in your packet. We do have an ordinance allowing golf carts, but it's only when needed due to a disability. So if we want to adopt rules similar to the county so that people could drive their golf carts down the city roads, we would have to have an ordinance for that. Several cities in the county did adopt an ordinance. The main issue that they had was people kind of assumed that you could drive them, children could drive them under 16, which is not the case. You have to have a driver's license, you have to have insurance, it's everything the same as a car. All of those cities that had the ordinance on a test run have decided to continue them. So kind of give you an idea of what the other people are doing. So what I did give you a copy of the ordinance and the different kinds of restrictions that the county has on theirs. And I don't know if you want, I'd recommend maybe sending it to the policy committee to ferret out one, unless you feel like this is nowhere we want to go, and then we don't have to take it anywhere. But I did bring it back because last year we said we'll bring it back just after the county decides if they're going to renew it or not.
Okay. What's Council's views? What's comments?
I'm just kind of curious what Brian, what's your take on this?
We've never had problems with golf carts in the city. I can't even think of complaints that we've had. What I would say would be a problem would be children jumping on the golf cart and tooling around on them. That would be something we'd have to nip it right away. And otherwise, people are pretty responsible on them. I don't think you see much problems with them. So it'd just be stopping children from putting the word out, make sure they're not driving. Like Vicky said, you have to have a license and
I think we're going to have more problem with ATVs than we have golf carts.
Right, lots faster. But with all of them, we really haven't had complaints on ATVs or golf carts. So.
Okay.
Very few.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? I personally think we should send it to the policy committee. just review it, rather than do that, take a deeper look at it. Contact a few other places if we need to, and see if they've adopted it, if they run into more issues. So, by general consent, send this to the policy meeting. Okay. That we will move on. Thank you. Consent agenda. We have a schedule of claims, unpaid claims of $194,670.84. Paid claims of $1,623.42 for a total of $196,294.26. April checks totaling $307,496.29. We have resolution number 2015-37, accepting contributions from Doggy Styles Pet Grooming of $196 to be allocated to the splash pad, and donation of $144 from an anonymous donor to be also allocated toward the splash pad. On behalf of the city, I'd like to thank those people for their donations. Every year, by June 30th, the liquor licenses are up for renewal. We have the list of people or businesses for the liquor licenses and their license number. And the businesses are Next Door Bar and Lounge, the Palmer House, Westside Liquor, American Legion Post 67, Hartman's Moonshine Shop, Bear Trap, Mustang Bar, Red Carpet Bar and Grill, M&M's Corner Bar, Walmart Stores, JT's Pub and Grill, Palace Bar and Grill, Elmer Z's, and Northside Liquor. And then every year, like June 30th, we also renew the licenses for 3 beer licenses. The only one on that list is Jitter's Java Cafe. Also by June 30th, the cigarette licenses are all up for renewal. And the list of the applicants for that is Next Door Bar, Westside Liquor, Moonshine Shop, Bear Trap, Mustang Bar, Coburn's, Sauk Center Fleet Supply, Casey's General Store, Isaac's North Star, Walmart, Truckers Inn Truck Stop, JT's Pub and Grill, Gas Mart of Sauk Center, Dallas Bar and Grill, North Star Liquor, or Northside Liquor, Holiday Station Stores Incorporated. We also have a request from Melanie Raring from M&M Corner Bar for a temporary extension of premise permit for an anniversary bash and back parking lot on June 27, 2015, with live music from 8:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. Is there any other questions or comments about the consent agenda?
I'd like to ask that last one under G, can you separate that out?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, any other requests, comments? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exemption of 10G, the temporary extension of the outdoor liquor permit?
Make a motion.
We have a motion by Diane, second. Second by Dave. Any other comments? Call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. We'll then take action on the request from M&M Corner Bar for the temporary extension premise permit. I take it you...
Yeah, I'm wondering why they want to go till 12:30 the following morning. That's a Saturday night, it goes into Sunday morning. You got a lot of residents in that area that I've talked to, and they don't like that loud noise that late at night. Noise ordinance in the city states 10 o'clock. Now, if they want to extend beyond that, we can look at that. I don't have a problem with extending it beyond 10 o'clock, but not 12:30 in the morning. I have I'm right in the line of the music too. And the vibration of the bass on that stuff will keep you awake. And a lot of the old people that live around me, I've talked to them, they're upset by it. They get up early the next morning to go to church and they're pretty elderly. So would they consider changing that time to earlier than 12:30?
I can ask them that, they put 12:30 because that's what our city code says they can do. So, that's what they put on there. I can certainly call them and ask them if they would be willing to come to end earlier. However, like I said, they applied for what we have in our code.
And it would take a change of the city code to change it.
If they, when the Legion did it, they just voluntarily ended earlier.
Right.
And so we approved it. But yeah, if we want to change it on a permanent basis, it would take a change to the city code.
One of the requirements that I know when we first started doing this, and it's still in here, the neighbors are notified at the event. Basically, that people involved, the businesses and the apartments and stuff like that are all notified. And then attached and signed approval or whatever. Are we still requiring that? I see it isn't checked off.
That's something that she'll have to do.
Okay.
And she'll have to bring it in if she gets the approval.
Okay, so if it does pass, it would be on contingent that
Correct.
paper comes in.
Correct.
All right. With those comments, do I have a motion to approve or disapprove the temporary extension of outdoor liquor permit for M&M Corner Bar?
I'll make a motion, we approve it contingent on completing the labor vet for one.
Okay. We have a motion by Keith. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a second by Dave. Is there any comments?
I'm curious, the neighbors have to be notified and attach a signed approval, so if the neighbors don't approve, is that seems to be the implication, is that the neighbors have to approve this?
When we started doing it, it was basically the people over the tops of the bar would sign up and say, yeah, we're good with it, we're not in town that night, or we're fine with it, or whatever. So usually we haven't the neighborhood isn't extended out very far. It was more limited to those people that are right there on that street in the apartments above the bar.
Okay.
But we've not approved one because usually the neighbors all sign it off. We've not had an incident where the neighbors wouldn't sign. So I guess that would be new grounds if the neighbors say, no, we don't approve of it, and it's going to get to the council and say, okay, then is it off or not? And if you make that a condition that the neighbors are all signed, then it's not valid until they do.
Yeah, it seems like it's the implied requirement that they have to sign off.
The only one question I got is how large of a radius are we requiring?
Yeah, what's the neighbors?
What's the neighbors?
These abutting properties.
At the time that we did this, it was abutting, so.
Okay.
You see, I live a block away. I can't even drive to Sauk.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other comments? That, I'll call the question. Do we have a motion? We have a motion on the table to approve the temporary extension per premise permit to the M&M Corner Bar for June 27, 2015, with the condition that the neighbors are notified and they bring in the signed approval sheet.
I have just one more question.
Go ahead.
Were you given a site map? Or was it
We
just-
do have the map, I just didn't get it included in the packet. It's just behind the bar, on their property, behind the bar. Like where they are, but not the Herald part of it, just theirs.
I'm just curious, if we've got a form that requires stuff, why we wouldn't do that? So, just curious.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. We have a motion on the floor to approve the temporary extension of the premise permit for M&M Corner Bar on June 27, 2015, with the condition that that the neighbors be notified with the attached sign approval. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
3, motion carries. 3 in favor, 1 against. Moving on, good informational items. Vicki?
We have a few informational items. The public utility has done their draft wellhead protection spill response plan. I do have a copy of it at City Hall if anybody is interested in coming and reading it. And what it really is talking about is that wellhead protection area up in the northeastern corner of the city and how they control that area as far as protecting the city water. Item B is previously we had consented to a restructuring transaction between Charter and Comcast. And the reason we had consented to that was for the purpose of our franchise agreement. That transaction has been terminated and they're withdrawing that. So it will have no effect on our ordinance. We'll be back with the regular ordinance that we had. I did include a copy in your packet where Centric Care has reached out to residents in the vicinity of the clinic regarding their construction and parking considerations during the clinic expansion. And item D, the splash pad construction is beginning. They're pouring concrete today for the footings of the play features, and the truck arrived today with some of those, and then a lot of the plumbing and everything is on site. They'll be working the rest of the week, then they'll be gone a week. Concrete needs to set, and then they'll be back working on that. And then I don't know if Keith wants to give an update quick on the Beltline Center project, because we had a meeting again tonight on that.
Thank you, Vicki. Quick update easement-wise. You've had at least one of the transactions tonight, which is an easement to purchase. Easements are going pretty well on the Beltline portions. We have everything but one taken care of. We've reached out. We've had a very difficult time getting a hold of that landowner. It's the co-op to try and negotiate a slightly different easement that was originally proposed to them. So we're working through that. And on Center Street, we've met with most of those residents. I believe Mosman we have. Mosman we do have. CPS is in process. Midwest Machinery appears to be pretty good and in process. We don't have it in hand. We've had a couple meetings with Fleet, and I think we're working towards a resolution on that. But then we'll come back before the council in short order. The project is actually bid tomorrow through the county, so we'll have some real numbers sometime tomorrow. So that's about the update I have. Any questions?
Questions? Thank you, Keith.
Thanks.
Okay, we reached the end of our agenda. All the questions are, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Dave, second by Diane. Call the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4 in favor, none against. Meeting adjourned.